Hi everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart and welcome to my channel. And thank you first and foremost to Aishu with Aishu's Crafty Kids Club for inviting me to this collaboration. And today I'm going to do something different. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a bit rusty, so we'll see how this goes. But I want to cover real quick. I have only 9 minutes to get this video out. I want to cover real quick for a resin pour. I'm going to do a resin beach pour here. You want gloves, stir sticks, the little cups. These are the colors I'm going to use. I'll call them out as I go. You want to make sure that you're level. You want to have a torch, and you want to have a heat gun for blowing out and getting out the bubbles. And you should also probably wear a respirator or a mask at least. I'm not going to because this is going to be a quick video, and I want to be able to talk without any encumbrance on my face. So with that, I'm going to mix my resin, and I will be back to probably voice over most of this. Okay. All right, everyone, so now that I've mixed my resin for the 4 minutes, I'm going to pour it into the cups. I have more than I need here. I've got some coasters over there I'll probably break to do. But let's just get started. So as I go through the creation here, I'm going to go and fast forward and cut out spots that aren't necessary, and I'll explain as we go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is lay this in first because I want this to set up a little bit longer than the others. And I just need a tiny bit. Tiny, tiny bit. So as I go about mixing the resin with the colors, I'm going to go on fast speed and I'm going to cut out some parts and I'm going to show and flash up the item that I'm actually mixing for color. So for the deep blue I'm going to mix, I'm using a combination of Golden's Ultramarine Blue and TLP Sapphire. And I'm just mixing this up really fast. It probably takes me about a minute or so to mix it so it's thoroughly constituted. Always making sure it's about 5% of the resin mixture. If there's any more than that, I understand it doesn't want to cure properly. I have never had that problem before. Part of having success with resin is just knowing the rules, knowing what you're supposed to do, what you can do, and what you shouldn't do. This color here is the Pearl Turquoise from Arteza. And right there I was just kind of matching it up against the other colors to see if it was going to work. This is a combination of Pearl Sea Green by Arteza and Sea Glass by TLP. There are my 3 colors. So I'm going to lay down the color, start with the blue. So I'm back on fast forward again because you can see what I'm doing is pretty evident, and just want to point out that I did pre-paint that board because I did not want to have any open spots to the board once laying down the paint. I know the blue is always transparent and that's always a problem. So yeah, I pre-painted the board so that actually adds a depth of color once the resin is laid down on top of it. And I was worried at first that I didn't have enough resin to cover this board. But as you see, once you get your fingers in there and you start pushing it all around, and it spreads out really nice, and you don't need to worry about the finger marks because it is self-leveling as we go. And be sure to get the sides as you're laying it out. All right, hit it with a torch. Now, for the white waves. So for the beach wave, you want to lay down a strip of clear resin between that last color down and the white wave that I will put down, so that when I do blow out the white waves with the heat gun, that foamy white will have a nice clear resin to flow over before it hits the color. Now, this guy. Now for the white wave itself, you want to just put down a very small, thin strip. Less is better. More is a problem because you're not going to get that nice foamy celled reaction that's going to look like sea foam. And when I start to lay out the other white waves, I'm going to go on fast forward. You can see what I'm doing. It's pretty clearly evident. And there's no clear rhyme or reason or instructions for where to put the waves. It's just what I feel like at the moment as I lay it down, just thinking, you know, what might look good as if you were looking down from the sky at the beach. So then once I get the white waves put down, I hit it with a torch to blow out any air bubbles that might have accumulated, and then I get the heat gun ready. I kind of run the heat gun over the area just to kind of get it warmed up to start with, and then I push it. And this is where the finesse comes into play. One shot is about right. You don't want to overdo this part. I'll stop right there. I know I'm going to probably regret this. I mean, it's just sinking so much. I want to have some representing here. I feel better about that. And you know what? I'm going to put a little more at the top. So as I add the extra to the top, I'm going to go on fast forward here. You can see what I'm doing. While that doesn't make sense in terms of a beach, I think it feels more balanced. So I'm going to stop right there. So I'm back to do another layer of resin on this. And I'm going to only add the white waves. So I'm going to mix that up first. So I want to let it sit for a bit before I actually apply it. And then I'm also going to be in and out. I'm going to be doing a couple things on the table over there. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix this up. I'm going to go on fast forward probably. And I'm going to lay down another layer of resin on this piece. And then I'll come back to lay down the white waves in about 15 minutes. Okay, so that's nicely mixed. I'm going to lay down this. So here I'm going on 6 times the speed. I'm just laying down the second coat of resin here, being sure to get the sides, the edges, and right up to the edge of where that leading wave is breaking. And I needed to add a second coat because I had some air bubbles I needed to sand out with 220 grit sandpaper, and I also wanted to add a couple white waves to the piece. All right, back now to put the white waves down. Heat gun. So here I'm going on 3 times the speed. You already understand the idea, the gist. You just want to hit it with the heat gun, kind of push it around just a little bit, and then call it done. So here I'm giving it the final look over right before I put it to bed, and tomorrow it'll be fully cured. So everyone, that's a wrap. Here is the final result. And I'm sorry I had to go so fast through this, but you hopefully got the gist as I went through this. So I will definitely be making more of these, probably going into more detail as I create them. But once again, thank you to Aishu for Aishu's Crafty Kids Club for inviting me to this collaboration. And if you're new here and liked what you see, please consider hitting the bell on all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. A like and comment is also appreciated. And that's all from me for now. Take care till next time.